Hey guys, Ian here from the Gamers Gaiden, back with part 4 of our 4-part horror retrospective. This time we're going to be looking at Affected the Manor, which I played on the PSVR. Now this actually came out in 2018 on the PSN. It was released in 2017, I believe, on Oculus. There was actually a demo released even earlier, just called Affected, that was a lot shorter, but still kind of gave the basics of what they were trying to accomplish. And then they put this out, which is a little bit longer, not incredibly long. My playthrough took me about 20 minutes. On their website, I saw that there was 2 alternate paths and 4 potential endings. Now, I only got one of the endings. I did see the second path, but I didn't follow it. I actually, if I'm being honest, I did watch a video of what the alternate ending going down that path was. I haven't seen 2 of the other endings. I might actually go back and see if I can get the other 2. But I don't know, because this was actually terrifying. This was very scary. They handled everything very well. There's no real mechanics in the game. You can move forward with the controller, and you can also look with the left thumbstick if you want to. You can also look with your head, which whatever makes more sense to you. And I think what's awesome about that is that just about anybody can jump into this experience. Now they do say that it's best experienced standing up in your play area. I sat down and I still had just as good of a time. I think what was really fun about this, I mean, there are a lot of PSVR games, and there's a couple not too bad horror-themed PSVR games. I believe Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, that's the one that's coming to mind right now, which is on rail. You're literally on rails. You're in a circus ride or carnival ride with your little pop guns shooting at stuff. And I think that's fantastic. Taking away as many elements for the player to need to know is great. This experience is totally open to anybody. You could sit your grandmother down and have her try this. I wouldn't suggest it unless your grandmother's super into horror, because this is a lot of jump scares, and the way they pace them out is pretty fantastic. Nothing is expected. There's no, I'm going to walk into this room and X is going to happen and then something's going to pop up in my face. That's not always the case. There's a lot of rooms that you move through where nothing happens. Sometimes it's just a matter of a light flicking on, or maybe a super creepy kids laughing down the hallway. Or even a few times I just had whispering in my ear, just one ear, and it was super unsettling. You'd feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and it really grabs you. I had a real hard time with this because the way they handled the atmosphere was just outstanding. It's super linear. You just have to walk. You follow a path. They open doorways and flick on lights for you. They show you where to go, which is why I was really surprised when I looked up that I saw that there was multiple endings, because I really thought that there was just the one way to go. I didn't see too many branching paths. Actually, now that I say that, right at the beginning when you walk in, there are 2 different hallways that you can walk down, and I actually chose one because I heard a noise instead of going the opposite way. So right there, 2 different paths, and I went down path, let's say, maybe I should go back and try it again, see what's down that other path. I did notice that there were 2 branching paths right at the very end. There was a long corridor, which was all lit in red, which was terrifying, and there was one small hallway, it was kind of hard to see, but just off to the left-hand side where I did see some white light. So I could have gone down that way, but instead, it seemed to me that all the action was down the hallway, so I just kept going that way. And got my ending. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did have to take a break because I was just like, oh my goodness, this is like super real and in your face. Um, I was happy with the length. I don't think I would have wanted to spend an hour walking around in this creepy house with no game mechanics really, other than just walking. Um, I think I think I think it was great to remove puzzles and having to find items. I thought that that's great for this premise, but I think if they stretched it out and made it longer without any extra gameplay to kind of engage your mind instead of just being like, "Oh, what's going to scare me next?" it would have taken away from it. I mean, I don't think people go to haunted houses to wander around in them for an hour. Usually those are, a 15-20 minute route that takes you through a series of creepy rooms and, creepy experiences. So I think their choice in the length of the game was ideal. Like, and again, really, it's a much harder sell to get someone who's not really into video games to sit down and spend, say, an hour exploring something, as opposed to, hey, throw this on, it'll take you 20 minutes, and it's a really wild experience. I think they really succeeded in what they set out to do. Everything from the level design to the lighting effects were fantastic. Having that flashlight that's constantly cutting out on you. It was the worst flashlight. Whatever flashlight they're using, I would never buy that. Or maybe it's just the batteries. Maybe the batteries are horrible. But yeah, very well done. This was honestly the perfect way to end this off. I had a decent sized list for things of this decade because I really think we've seen an excellent evolution. I mean, especially for me right now, going back and playing all of these games over the last couple of decades, like playing each one over the last few weeks and kind of seeing the horror tropes that have continued on from decade to decade, the things that are consistently scary, and the things that gaming has really brought into the horror genre. I mean, yeah, looking back, a lot of stuff over the last decade has been zombie focused. But again, we've really seen that rise in interest in all things zombie with, The Walking Dead and that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't want to get too off topic here. I mean, this isn't an hour long discussion like our regular podcasts. This is just a little bit of a retrospective on horror. But no, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed sitting down. I enjoyed playing something that was horror, that didn't have, a masked killer lurking around. It didn't have, you know, uh, zombies around each corner. This was just a supernatural, creepy experience. And you don't get a ton of those now. I mean, there are a few options out there that were on my list. I'll give a shout out to Blair Witch, which was just released on PC and Xbox One, I believe. Again, a walking simulator. Does have a few game mechanics, but mostly just walking. As well as Remothered. I didn't know about this one. Check it out. Look into it. It sounds fascinating. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but it's worth checking out. It's downloadable on most platforms. So, really interesting supernatural horror things. Because like I said, a lot of times you get, you're like demons and zombies and, shooting them in the face. And it's neat to kind of be able to step away from that and see something a little bit different. So, thank you so much for watching this this little series. I appreciate it. If you really like this kind of thing, let me know. Maybe we can do one for Christmas. I don't know how many Christmas games there are other than Home Alone, but hey, I'm up for finding out if you want me to do it. So let me know in the comments below. Did you play any of these games? Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, if you play one of them, play Hugo's House of Horrors, because that's free and easy to find. If you play two, this is really hard. I'm gonna say Affected. Play Affected, and then Clock Tower. That's a really hard one though, because those are both really good games, both for different reasons. But if you have the means to play Affected in VR, check it out. If you dig horror, I think you will really like this. This creeped me the heck out. So, again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.